Hello there and welcome to the show, and today I'm going to be talking about Venom: The Last Dance. This is the third and final installment of the Venom trilogy starring Tom Hardy, and I am genuinely surprised that this franchise has lasted as long as it did. I was not expecting Venom to be a trilogy of movies, but here we are. Let's talk about this film. This film completely retcons the end credits of Spider-Man No Way Home in the way that Eddie Brock goes from the MCU back to the Sony Spider-Man universe. And that right there, from the very beginning, let me know that the makers of this film had no idea what they were doing. And that is pretty much how I felt throughout the majority of this film. So the story of Venom: The Last Dance is that Venom and Eddie Brock are on the run from a symbiote hunter. The creator of the symbiotes, Null, wants Venom because he possesses a codex, and that's the key to release him from a prison, and he releases his army of symbiote hunting monsters to retrieve the codex from Venom and Eddie Brock. Venom and Eddie are on the run, and that is the basic premise of this movie. I personally was never a big fan of the Venom movies. I thought the first Venom was a serviceable film. I thought the first Venom movie was like a made-for-TV film from the mid-2000s. Let There Be Carnage, it was enjoyable in that turn your brain off, I just want to be entertained type of way. This film, I genuinely couldn't believe what I was watching in the cinemas. I was so checked out and uninvested in everything that was going on screen. This movie, as it kept going and going and going, I constantly checked the time and I was like, how are we here? Like, nothing has happened. I wasn't a big fan of Tom Hardy's performance as Eddie Brock. The voice, the mannerisms, and how he chose to play this character. Everyone in this film feels like they're phoning it in for the paycheck. No one's really invested in this film. There is a lot of tonal inconsistencies. You've got this boring, I don't care tone. You've got this section where the film is trying to be over the top, and then you've got it where it's like trying to be serious and overly dramatic, and none of these go well together at all. There's this subplot with a scientist, and I genuinely couldn't bring myself to care. Every time they transitioned into Area 51 for this scientist's story, I did not care. I rolled my eyes at the prospect of more scenes at Area 51. This film pretty much wastes its entire cast. Rhys Ifans plays this hippie who's on a road trip with his family, and their scenes were painful to watch. Like, their attempts at comedy were not good. The reason this film is called The Last Dance, there's a section of this film that takes place in Las Vegas, and there's this dance number, and the reason for it happening is so idiotic because the symbiote hunter can sense when Venom is in his full form, so he turns into his full form for this dance scene, and they're surprised when the symbiote hunter attacks. What were you expecting? This film is so dumb. There is very little comedy. There was only one funny line in this entire movie. Now, granted, I was laughing during this film, but that's because I couldn't believe what I was seeing on screen. I was laughing at how bad this film was. The action sequences feel like they're straight out of a mid-2000s PlayStation 2 video game. The final act is just nonsense. The ending, it's supposed to be this big emotional payoff, but I didn't care. I wasn't overly invested in Venom to begin with. I really liked the character, but the character of Venom works better as an antagonist towards Spider-Man and Peter Parker. This film feels like a parody of Venom and superheroes. It doesn't feel like a superhero film. This feels like a parody film almost. This film was not good. This, Joker, Folie à Deux, and Madam Web, seriously, some strong contenders for worst movie of the year. Now, one thing about The Last Dance is that it is remarkably short. It's just over 90 minutes long. That's about it. That's the only redeeming quality of The Last Dance. This was not a good movie. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram at Saeed_2000, and I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, take care.